So this is a weekend video on Solo. There's a investor presentation that happened today on September 3rd, 2020. I haven't listened to it yet, and I will be recording it while I listen to it. And I'll give you my thoughts on it as soon as it's over. So let's begin.
Welcome, and thank you everyone for joining me today for Electromechanica's virtual presentation. Electromechanica is a Canadian designer and manufacturer of electric vehicles. We are revolutionizing the future of transportation. My name is Val Bueller, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Board Director of Electromechanica. I joined Electromechanica just under 2 years ago. Very briefly about myself, I've got my designations in both accounting and in risk management. I have over 25 years of experience in both publicly traded and private companies that I've owned and ran at an executive and or board level. The industries that I've been involved in are in technology, manufacturing, automotive, e-commerce, resource, energy, transportation, and health and wellness. I've been involved in everything from initial public offerings, reverse takeovers, corporate accounting, capital funding, investor relations, corporate governance, regulatory, risk management, insurance, product development, marketing, and much more. Today, I'll be covering the following topics in our presentation: our company overview, Solo Drive, the evolution of the Solo, our Solo specs, true cost of ownership, the growing EV and rideshare market, the Solo ecosystem, our launch and strategic rollout, marketing strategy, our path to profitability, company stock and financials, and lastly, key takeaways. So here we have our forward-looking statements. Electromechanica is a Canadian designer, as mentioned. We are redefining transportation. We are the future, and we are revolutionizing Drive Solo. Everything from urban commuting, delivery, and shared mobility. We are truly the disruptors in this space. We're unique, dynamic, and incomparable in 3 distinct ways from our peers and others in our sector when it comes to our flagship single-seat, 3-wheeled Solo and the Solo ecosystem that we have created in this market. And I am proud to say that we are now in Solo production. We have just announced the commercial production over a week and a half ago, which is a monumental milestone for Electromechanica, and truly is very, very, very happy that we are now in production. So going back to the presentation, 3 ways why we are incomparable from others and what sets us apart. First is our Solo, our product. It provides an exciting driving experience that's unique, trendy, fun, affordable, and environmentally friendly. It's purpose-built. We are redefining transportation as you know of it from the past to where it is today and the future, in every aspect, as an urban commuter to commercial applications like fleets and deliveries. Drive Solo will be the future. The second reason why we're incomparable is that we have an asset-light manufacturing model. Our manufacturer partner is Zhongshan, who is known as being one of the largest manufacturers in motorcycles worldwide. So they really, truly understand mass-scale production and scalability. The third reason why we're incomparable is how we are launching our Solo. This is being done very strategically through our detailed marketing and advertising plan and through kiosk retail stores by testing locations, before signing up longer-term leases to ensure that we are in the right location. We have a highly experienced management team with significant beneficial ownership of about 28%. We are headquartered in Vancouver, Canada, and we have a service and distribution center in Studio City, LA. We've got 4 wholly owned subsidiaries, 2 in the US, 1 in Canada, and 1 in China. And that takes us, what is Solo Drive? So in order to understand the concept of Solo Drive, if you look at 2 bookends, one on your left-hand side called micromobility, which includes scooters, bikes, and they lack safety or protection features. You're exposed to the elements. There's minimal technology integration and very limited in range. Then on the right-hand side, we've got passenger EV vehicles, which are expensive and a higher cost of ownership. We've got an oversized powertrain for a majority of the uses that you will need them for. And you require a dedicated level 2 or level 3 charging infrastructure. Then if you look in the middle, you have Solo Drive, which is a purpose-built solution for the modern urban environment. This is a purpose-built solution not only for commuters, but for commercial applications like the fleet and car share, which is an all-encompassing Solo ecosystem. This is all about moving towards the minimalist trend and the movement towards that. And this is also a great solution for those who do not want to take public transit anymore because of COVID, and you want control of your own space. Well, how did we arrive at the Solo? It all started in 2015, where we introduced 64 prototypes, where the first prototype was introduced in September of 2017. We currently have 24 in circulation, and these were all hand-built out of our Vancouver facility. Then last year, in 2019, we had 50 pre-production Solos that were manufactured by our strategic partner Zhongshan in Chongqing, China. These were designed for further validation and testing and further engineering. This year, now in the present, we have our production Solo. We have now started this commercial production in the last week of August. The Solos are manufactured in our dedicated facility by Zhongshan. Again, as I said before, this is truly a monumental milestone that the company has achieved, where it started as a vision in 2015 and now has become a true reality. In terms of what does the production Solo have? Well, it's got a top speed of just over 80 miles an hour. It has a range of 100 miles. It's got technology-enabled Bluetooth. It's got heated seats. It's got air conditioning. It's got rear-view mirrors. It's got a backup camera. In addition to these features, the price of the Solo is $18,500, but we've also undergone safety testing beyond what's required for this vehicle class. And a number of those safety features and drivability upgrades include electronic power steering, triple side protection, torque limiting stability control, front and rear crumple zone protection, a robust impact and roll protection bar, a wider wheelbase for enhanced drivability. As you can see, the Solo is the most economical vehicle out there compared to others, and we feel that we have a true advantage over most of our competitors in what we are offering. And in terms of the true cost of ownership, over 5 years, you can truly see when you compare that to the other EVs such as the Mini, the Nissan Leaf, the Chevy Bolt, the Tesla, there's a significant difference in costs, which also include insurance, maintenance, and taxes. You know, the Solo is premium over the other vehicles, ranging from just under 30%, 36% to almost 96% less to own. And as we know, when we're talking about EVs, it's a growing market, as is the rideshare market. Just a few stats for you to note is in 2018, global EV sales totaled 2.1 million. The U.S. increased its sales of EVs by over 81% in 2018. Bloomberg predicts that by 2040, electric vehicles will account for 30% of all new vehicle sales. And California is still the largest consumer of electric vehicles in the U.S. 50% of all electric vehicle sales are actually still coming out of California. One last other trend that's been noted is that today's EVs account for 1.8% of shared mobility fleets. Bloomberg is saying that by 2040, this is going to grow to 80%. The why the Solo? The Solo is purpose-built when it comes to urban driving challenges. So much of what you do is solo. You go to yoga, you're solo. You go for coffee, you're going solo. You're going to work, generally you're going solo. So many aspects of your day-to-day life is actually solo. And that's why we have built a vehicle that is specific to those needs of being solo. We've done extensive research whereby 76% of the people commute by themselves daily, which means that 3 to 5 seats are usually left empty. And as I was mentioning before, you have a lower operating cost than most vehicles. This is all about Drive Solo and being a part of the Solo Drive ecosystem. This is all about being in your mindset and not about the demographics. So I've been talking about the Solo ecosystem throughout this presentation. Well, the Solo ecosystem is an ideal solution for multiple applications. The Drive Solo program is for consumers, for fleets, and for shared mobility. The Solo ecosystem is the future of transportation. We've got 3 distinct markets, and if you look at it as a circle, on your right-hand side, we have Solo Drive, which is for your urban commuters, daily commuting, all those solo needs that you have. In the middle, we've got Solo Utility, which is for delivery, fleet, and other utility applications for courier, such as Uber Eats, Amazon, Domino's, DHL, etc. And on the left-hand side, we've got Solo Share, which can be used for a shared mobility application, just like Zipcar, Car2Go, EVO, university campuses, tech campuses, hotels. This is the Solo ecosystem of transportation. And how we've been able to keep our costs down when it comes to production is all about this asset-light manufacturing model. We as a company decided to outsource the commercialization of our Solos so that we keep our expenditures low, CapEx low, as well as mitigating against production risk. Why reinvent the wheel? So we teamed up with our manufacturing partner Zhongshan, who owns about 2% of our issued and outstanding. They're also known as the largest motorcycle and motorcycle engine manufacturer in the world. They produce over 2 million motorcycles a year and maintain over 50 joint ventures worldwide. Our strategic launch and rollout. We are focused on rolling out the Solos in the coming weeks. They will be arriving in LA, and that's where the first deliveries will be starting. We've got an aggressive strategic and marketing and advertising plan that is also focused on this rollout. We have our service and distribution center in LA, Studio City, and we've got our 4 retail kiosks in the various malls of California and LA, as well as in Scottsdale, Arizona, and just outside of Portland, Oregon. In terms of our marketing strategy and our PR, we have hired Rogers & Cowan for public relations, and we've got Narrative Media to do all the digital and advertising initiatives. So we've got the Drive Solo campaign that is currently out, and we're doing various other marketing campaigns and are on a very aggressive pace of trying to educate the consumer and commercial fleets of what the Solo is all about. So we're very aggressive in terms of trying to get the message out sooner than later. In terms of our path to profitability, there's 3 ways how we're going to be reaching that path to profitability. Firstly, it's about ramping up production volumes. So we've just started at the last week of August in our commercial production. We're going to be starting this year with a slow ramp, and then next year we will be moving up those volumes at a very fast pace. And what will that enable us to do? Well, we'll be able to leverage our buying power from suppliers to gain more favorable pricing. And also, we're looking to enhance manufacturing efficiencies and increasing automation. The second reason why we're looking at our path to profitability is also establishing a U.S. assembly and research and development facility through the initiative of BDO. We've identified 3 finalists with a robust incentive package: Arizona, Florida, and Tennessee. This will allow us to avoid cumbersome tariffs by having knockdown kits supplied by Zhongshan. We're also going to be able to capture the logistical efficiencies and limit uncertainties in our global supply chain. Third way we're going to be able to look to our path to profitability is continued product development. In addition to ongoing enhancements to performance, the company is also focused on cost improvement initiatives so that we have a clear pathway to reducing our bill of material even further with future iterations of the Solo. And as we approach the path to profitability, we've got our company stock and financial slides. So in our Q2 results were released on August the 11th. At the end of Q2, we had cash of over $51 million in the bank. We had issued and outstanding at around 64 million, with fully diluted at about 96 million shares. We have about 75 employees. We've been able to do this. We've been able to put the Solo into production with 0 long-term debt. It's all been done through equity. We have beneficial ownership of about 28%, and over this last quarter, we've worked very diligently to de-risk the company with a stronger balance sheet. So in terms of catalysts that are out there right now that we're looking towards, is we've got strategic partners that we're working with right now with adding to our business verticals, and as well as working on further business partnerships. But the biggest catalyst of all is that we've transitioned from a pre-production company to a production company, and in the coming weeks, we will have the Solos arriving in the U.S. And lastly, our key takeaway slide, we look at the Solo, the Drive Solo campaign, really changing transportation and really changing the landscape of what transportation is going to look like. We're incomparable when it comes to our Solo because of its innovative, purpose-built design and its attainability and the uniqueness and how fun it is to drive it. And it's made for the solo ecosystem. The solo ecosystem is all about going from solo drive to solo utility and to solo share. This ecosystem does a full circle when it comes to commuters to commercial applications. We're incomparable because we have an asset-light manufacturing model with a strategic partner. We're incomparable because of the way we're launching the Solo through a very methodical approach. We've got strong macroeconomic tailwinds with a large and rapidly growing EV market. We have a highly experienced management team. We've shifted the landscape of the company from being a pre-production to a production company. The Solos are coming, finally. We are the future and we're here to stay. In closing, I would like to thank you all for joining me today. Please stay safe and healthy, and we welcome you to the new Solo ecosystem.
Okay, I think that the transcript she's reading is like the same transcript that she was reading in the previous interviews. The one thing I want to point out is the fact that maybe they moved up the deliveries of the Solos, because she's saying, oh, the Solos are going to arrive in the on the U.S. borders in the coming weeks. But according to the CEO, it was near the end, either near the end of October and beginning between October and November is when they are going to launch the Solos. They're going to deliver the Solos. Maybe they moved that up a little bit, but besides that, it was boring. There was nothing fundamentals about the company. The stock is, kind of just did a pump and dump today, essentially. Pump and then dump throughout the day. So it sucks, but that's the reality. But hey, you know what? Solo could be another GameStop in the future. Not saying that will happen. I'm saying that that's a possibility. Sometime this year, Solo could be another GameStop where it just keeps running up and people buying in because it's running up. People buy high, sell higher. That's sometimes a strategy. And it's a strategy that works for day traders. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe for future updates and have a great day. Bye.